Okay, so this problem has two different parts. The first part is asking us to find side DB, which is right here. So I'm either going to use law of cosines or law of sines for all of these problems. If you remember back to when we were doing this stuff, for law of sines, you needed sides and angles that were opposite each other. So I have one set of an angle there and a side that's opposite each other, and then another set with an angle and a side that are opposite each other. So I'm going to use the formula that's pasted up at the top here, and it has the side over the angle. And it doesn't matter if you do it that way or angle over side. So I'm going to do 11 over sine of 100 equals x over sine of 59. And then I'm going to cross multiply that. So I'll get 11 times the sine of 59 equals x times the sine of 100. And then I'm going to divide by the sine of 100 to move it to this side. And that's going to give me x equals, and then whatever that is in the calculator. Now, big deal. Hit the mode button. Make sure it's in degree mode. Whatever calculator you're using, make sure it's in degree mode. So I'm going to put in a fraction here that looks exactly like this. So 11 times the sine of 59 over the sine of 100. So 9.5742, we're going to go three significant figures, which is 9.57. And again, you can always write the whole decimal down if you want to. But three significant figures is good enough. So there's 9.57. So now I know that's 9.57 right there. The second part wants me to find DC. So DC is over here. So there's really one good way to do this, and then probably some other ways that are pretty complicated. But I am going to go ahead and use law of cosines. Now, when you're using law of cosines, you need, and my picture is getting a little crazy here, but you need two sides and an angle in the middle of them. That's the setup you need. So I have right here the 6, and I have the 9.57, and I have the 82. So that's two sides and the angle in the middle of them, and then I'm looking for the other missing side. So really with this, perfect setup for law of cosines because it's got that two sides with an angle squeezed right in the middle of them. So the formula for the law of cosines is, let me make sure I use the one that they have up here, because I think mine's the one I usually use is different, is a squared. So a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2ab cosine of a. These two things right here need to be the side and angle that are opposite each other. So in the case of our picture, this 82 and the y are going to go in the a spot, and then the 9.57 and the 6 can go into the b and c and don't matter where. So I'm going to end up with y squared equals 6 squared plus 9.57 squared minus 2, and I just realized I wrote this down wrong. It should be 2bc. So minus 2 times 6 times 9.57 times the cosine of, what was the angle again? 82. So then I'm going to put this whole thing right here, the entire thing, into the calculator, and it's going to give me a number that's y squared equals to that number, and then I'm going to take the square root of that number when I get done. So in the calculator, I'm going to have 6 squared plus 9.57 squared minus 2 times 6 times 9.57 times cosine 82. Let me make sure I got that all right. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. It's going to be 111.602. So 111.602 with some more decimals. I'm going to take the square root of that. That's going to give me my answer. So second square root of that number is 10.564. Again, I'm going three significant figures, so that's going to be 10.6. If you don't like three significant figures, write out the entire decimal.